Welcome to Twickenham for a game that quite simply is the biggest round 3 pool match that this competition has ever seen. England, the hosts, will go out tonight with a game still to play should they lose to Australia. Good evening, I'm Miles Harrison, and the former England scrum half Andy Gummersall is alongside. We've all enjoyed another lovely autumnal day in England. The weather is one of the many things going well at this tournament, but can the hosts go well too? Australia do have a get-out clause. They live to fight another day should they fail to win tonight. But everybody knows just what beating England means to Australian sporting stars and their sporting public. And for the supporters wearing gold tonight, the delicious prospect of dumping the hosts out of their World Cup. The Australian players arriving back at Twickenham, they looked very relaxed yesterday, pumping out AC/DC at their routine in training. Afterwards, their coach Michael Checker, who in a year seems to have turned things right around, refused to be drawn on talking about the opposition, feeling that his players' personal thoughts about what this match means to them and their nation were entirely sufficient. The Australian side, a front row where a lot of problems seem to have been solved. Scott Sio, Sekope Kepu, and the man in the middle, Captain Stephen Moore. Kane Douglas and Rob Simmons. This, in fact, the starting lineup that began the game against Fiji, Australia's opener. Scott Fardy and the two breakdown specialists, Michael Hooper and David Pocock, a point of clear conservatism for England. Will Genia is back at scrum half these days with all that experience, and Bernard Foley is at fly half. Now Matt Giteau has wowed in European club rugby with Toulon, now a Wallaby again, determined to enjoy every minute with Tevita Kuridrani at centre. And the back three is Rob Horne, Adam Ashley Cooper on the wings, with Israel Folau, another loving this chance to show his skills on the world stage. That is the Australian team. And Andy, who have you picked out as your men to watch?
In shot, Michael Hooper is a guy who's forced his way in with the outstanding Pocock, perceived as first choice for so long. He's won accolades all through his career. He is a player that has everything in his armoury, a complete modern-day open side. Izzy Folau, real danger man, especially wide out in the opposition red zone, searing pace and a step and fend to die for. Safe as houses under the high ball, he possesses a physical presence unparalleled at fullback. Matt Giteau, masterstroke to get him back into the fold. Hugely popular figure, will have raised the confidence in this Australian squad, and for me, it's his class as a playmaker that is needed, with the more pragmatic Foley chosen at number 10. Stephen Moore leading his country into another titanic battle with England. The resurgence in the Australian scrum will give him the unique situation of going in to dominate and nullify the England scrum.
England supporters knowing that this is not just the hottest ticket in town, it will be the ticket they will be ripping up at full time should this go the way they fear it could. But their team has been making good noises all week, as they must tonight. The players looking to harness the anger of defeat last week. It is a career-defining game for these players. They have vowed to give everything they have. They know the stakes. They know that there will be no consoling words for plucky losers here, not after exit at this stage of the competition. England would be the first host nation not to make the quarter-final. And looking to stop that from happening, Joe Marler, Dan Cole, and England's hooker Tom Youngs. Courtney Law's knee injury means that Joe Launchbury moves into lock, but he may have come in anyway with his extra bulk to be with Geoff Parling. The back row is Tom Wood, the captain Chris Robshaw, and Ben Morgan back in for the now injured and out of the competition Billy Vunipola. Ben Youngs came through his fitness test this week and continues at half-back, with Owen Farrell preferred again to George Fall. Brad Barritt moves back into inside centre as Jonathan Joseph returns fit at 13. The wingers and fullback stay together. Jonny May, Anthony Watson and Mike Brown. It's an England team looking for that balance between aggression, ambition and precision. Who are the key men to deliver that?
Well, Miles in shot, Jonathan Joseph. Huge bonus to have the talent back at outside centre. Gives England the natural ambition. England far too one-dimensional without him. His step and outside break brings such wonderful width to England's game. Joe Launchbury gaining momentum to return to the heights of his performances of 2 years ago. Another bonus selection for Lancaster. He needs the game of his life to counter his opposite number, Simmons. He's a world-class pilferer of the ball. Ben Youngs had a storming match versus Wales. Injury curtailed his influence on the game. Different player with front football. He will have an exceptionally difficult evening with both number 7s breathing down his neck. Chris Robshaw, a tough week for the captain, and as a leader he will know very well that it can be a short week in Test match rugby. A powerful and commanding performance by the England captain will dispel the noise of weak decision making and a lack of turnovers at the breakdown.
5 times these two have met in Rugby World Cups and they've all taken their place in history. Australia winning the first two, 1987, the final here. Tony Daly's try, 1991. England winning the last 3. Rob Andrews' drop goal, 95. Johnny Wilkinson in the 2003 final, of course. And the dominant England scrum in Marseille 8 years ago.
Yeah, if we give them any turnovers, we leave a guy isolated, they steal the ball, they go to attack, they go...
Frenchman Romain Poit tossing the coin.
It's your call.
A man who has a reputation
Kick off. Okay, right. You know,
of being precise at the scrum.
Okay, in 10 minutes. Yeah, cool. Have a good game. Cheers. Cheers.
And Andy, you've had a general look, but if you had to boil it down, who are your star men?
This man, David Pocock, one of the reasons that Australia on their day are the best attacking team in world rugby. Phenomenal fitness means he's top of the stats of breakdown visits, securing possession in attack and defence. The only question mark is the position he now finds himself in to make way for Hooper at number 8. His lack of game time in such a specialist position could be seen to be a weakness, but with the Australian scrum operating so well under Ledesma, it proves to be a real weapon for the Aussies. And for England, that man, Owen Farrell, he slotted 3 out of 3 when he came on against Fiji and was perfect again in a 20-point tally against Wales. Faultless so far. Only Johnny Wilkinson has scored more points at Twickenham. And that man, Johnny, was simply a scourge of Australia. Owen Farrell, first choice tonight because he is in such confident mood.
England say they've been hardened by the events of last week, not just the match itself and the way it slipped from their grasp and towards Wales, but also the reaction to it. Australia won the toss for choice of dressing room, could have taken England's, but they declined. They're not into mind games. Coach Michael Checker never played for his country, and he's reminded these players that the privilege of doing so should be enough. Play like it's your last game, his message. Well, in effect, this will be England's last match in the tournament should they lose, because going to Manchester next week to play Uruguay with nothing on it will be the most hollow of World Cup experience for a host.
You don't have to end this very quickly because we will have highlights of the second half for you as well.
England versus Australia at a Rugby World Cup, with qualification riding on the outcome. The final messages have now been delivered. The England players looking to their crowd to give them the lift they need to turn this pool on its head. England can tonight be on the verge of qualification, or they're going through the exit door. Australian teams have used this ground as an inspiration before, but they know a key moment in the development of this side is that big away win. Well, there's no better chance to show they're ready than the chance here right now. A match that is dripping with significance, both current and historical. One that these players, this crowd, everybody watching around the world will remember for a long, long time. Twickenham to welcome the hosts onto the field. Will it be for the last time in this World Cup? In the case of the England management, 3.5 years of planning coming down to this. England have talked about Australia having, unlike themselves, a reason to quit. But Australia do not want to leave it until next week. For the Wallabies, this could turn around quickly too. And Australian sports teams don't quit. And deep down, England know that. The anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthems. First England, followed by Australia, and they'll be supported this evening by the New Tottenham Singers. Australia with the same team that started against Fiji in their opening match,
Hooker Stephen Moore leads with a back row that includes both Michael Hooper and David Pocock, and a back line with Matt Giteau on the ground where he made his debut 13 years ago. The England team, Jonathan Joseph back in the centre. Ben Youngs is fit as well and continues at scrum half. Joe Launchbury and Ben Morgan come into the pack as the injured Courtney Laws and Billy Vunipola move out. On the bench for England, 37-year-old Nick Easter called up after Vunipola's injury, brought him out of the tournament. And for Australia, their captain from Game 2 against Uruguay, Dean Munn. The Rugby World Cup has been great fun, but the business for these players now is so serious. And here at Twickenham tonight,
less 1 minute.
It has never been more serious for this set of England players. Romain Poit of France is the referee. He was in charge of Australia's last win here 3 years ago, in the first year of the Stuart Lancaster reign. An Australian win tonight, and the hosts' World Cup is over. For them it is now do or die in the pool of death. Farrell for England. Genia. Everybody wants an early touch to settle. Australia are running it from virtually on their own line. Back it goes to Giteau, who offers that left foot option. Farrell, thumper from Hooper on Farrell.
Option.
It's gone forward, but Hooper has made his mark.
Scrum.
Clear message from Australia. We've come here to play. We're not going to get into the kicking battle that you may want, England. We've come to play.
Easy.
And Hooper has come to smash Farrell. What an opportunity for him in the first minute of this game to get a tackle. Number 7 on number 10. We haven't had long to wait to see the outcome of the first scrum.
Australia, England, so always a lot made of the scrum in the build-up. Joe Marler being scrutinised. Imprint. Free kick England. First blood then. Brad Barritt. Ben Youngs to his brother Tom. Ben Youngs injured in last week's game, but coming through those fitness tests. He played very well in the first half against Wales, but that not a great start from the England scrum half.
Scrum.
Lancaster will be very, very pleased with the outcome.
3 goal unstable. Early pushing.
And that first scrum. And Australia, their line speed, incredible. Getting in the faces of England early.
Easy.
It's Marler versus Kepu.
Crutch. Bind.
CO,
Set.
Australia's loose head takes on Cole. And that scrum goes round.
Stay there.
Foley's kick. Referee decided pressure on from both sides. Mike Brown flag is up. And it will be an Australia throw. And Foley lets England know about it.
These are the margins. Clearly, Mike Brown taking the ball out. A measured kick from Foley. That's why he's in this Australian team. Beautiful running kick into the corner. And Australia with the first moment of pressure.
Look for Fardy at the line out, and Simmons too. And Australia look to drive England. Genia, Giteau, Foley, bit of space for Folau. Gives that, and it was really on for Horne. England were being sucked in. Robshaw flies in. Ball's gone forward. That was a chance.
That is exactly the tactic for Australia. Get the ball in the 22 to Folau as quickly as possible. But it's the last man in defence. Mike Brown makes the right decision. Folau taking just too long to make his decision. He was looking for Brown to step off, go on to the last man.
7 gold.
Brown,
7 gold.
Crucial
I thought
hit.
to 7 as well. Stay as you are before the engagement. Don't pull each other. Time off.
Foley will be looking. As soon as there is space, he will look to get Folau into the game because he has the ability to step, offload through the contact. And for Ashley Cooper and Horne, that is the kind of ball that you want. Breaking the line, one-on-one against the England defenders.
Brown didn't buy it. Just
Stability,
as well
think about
for
the
England,
stability.
but Folau, whatever he does, he seems to make a success of it. Okay, Aussie rules, not long enough really, but rugby league, rugby union, he's flying. Just didn't quite release early enough there. As Andy says, he was banking on Brown taking the bait.
His head to put his feet back.
If you are moving, guys, I don't call, okay? Support are moving, we wait for the stability.
Go here, boys. Chewy.
Poit needs to stamp his authority in these scrums. We want a contest. We don't want multiple re-scrums. We want to see the ball in play.
Fine.
Has to make the right decisions early in the game.
Australia have been working so hard with Mariano Ledesma, the former Argentina Polota-Nau, their scrum coach. And here comes Horne off that wing. Genia, advantage being played. Foley. Genia again to Hooper. Up comes Morgan and Robshaw.
In the positioning. Sackler.
Still the advantage for Australia. CO waits. Might as well see if this develops. The Wallabies. Pocock now gets hands on ball in the loose. Fardy. It's England with all the tackles inside their own 22. And now the crossfield kick. Folau rising. That's gone forward.
We come back offside.
Memories of 2003 Rugby World Cup final.
10 wide.
Crossfield kick. Pressure was off Australia with an early penalty, and it's the speed of ball from the breakdown.
Shot.
That's exactly what Will Genia will want. Quick ball. He'll look to come around the corner, entice defenders out. Accurate kick from Foley. Would have wanted a little bit more height. Watson under huge pressure. And he doesn't have the height advantage over Folau. Worrying times for England.
Well, the plan for England was undoubtedly to come out of the traps. Remember when they beat New Zealand here 3 years ago on the back of some disappointments, a lot of criticism. They certainly came flying out that day and set the tone in that particular match. Well, it's Australia setting the tone here. And it's Bernard Foley. Try scorer in defeat last autumn. England won the last 2 here against Australia, but this an excellent start for the Wallabies. If it goes over, which it does, they have the points to show for their early pressure.
No one can argue that Australia deserved the 3-point lead. A real marker down from the first receipt of the kickoff. England will look to get some territory and put pressure back on.
Kuridrani. Scott Fardy came to it quite late, 29 when he made his debut.
Hold the goal!
Almost fixture since then. And here's a man with a second Wallaby life, Matt Giteau, with a change of rules, allowed back into that shirt.
George happy?
And treating it as if he's a newborn.
Line for goal.
Loving every second.
Yeah, we will pay.
The Toulon sun has really suited Giteau. As we see, possession is massively in favour of Australia. Giteau gives Foley the out as well on the kicking game, so takes the pressure off his number 10.
Young's pass to Jonathan Joseph, back to Farrell, lovely offload, Anthony Watson! England now into the match. Young's, Robshaw, good move from England. And Watson, who's on this hot streak. There's Joseph again. England delighted to have him back in their back line after that chest injury against Fiji. Tom Youngs, Fardy, off his feet there, no, says the referee. Ball was out. Parling. Robshaw somehow managed to take that on. And England get the Portuguese coming back on the Aussie side.
England desperate for a penalty. And this is a move that's been reserved. Clever play behind. What an offload from Owen Farrell. And last-ditch tackle from Foley, much needed. Really good to see Watson in space. England would have needed a penalty there with that pressure, speed of ball. Brilliant, brilliant move. Good line out. Real precision in their handling. Owen Farrell, who made that move with the class offload through the tackle, one-handed. And it creates the one-on-one.
Like this, better like
Rob Horne
like
is down.
Right.
He's injured in July, ruled him out of the Rugby Championship.
Yep.
And his evening looks like it's about to end. Curtly Beale is stripped off. Drew Mitchell not on the Australian bench. Beale is covering back 3. He's quick. Rob Horne, definitely a specialist. Kuridrani is going
Square.
toward a Beale across to the wing position. Yep, Beale's going to the wing.
Come closer. The mark is there. Come closer.
Class player, and he will help Folau. Natural position is fullback. He'll add to the back 3 in defence and covering kicks, but England will have to watch as we see their move and the structure behind the scrum. 3 in a row, Watson, Brown and Farrell. They should go the wheel of the scrum here if England can get a right wheel up. Looks like a left.
Hooper pops up. He was concerned, had a right to be. Australia in trouble at that scrum. They collapse. On their knees. England a 3-point opportunity.
I feel like we're hitting, waiting for the ball, and then they're coming there pushing.
Okay, stay square, stay steady.
Graham Roundtree will be pretty happy with the first 10 minutes in the scrums. 1 free kick, 1 penalty. You can clearly see A slip from CO. And Tom Young's had plenty to say to him after that scrum.
Seemed everybody wanted a word from the England side. Backs rushing in as well to give their expert advice on what had happened at that scrum. Here's Farrell to equalise, surely. 3-3. 12 fascinating minutes.
Absolutely. Owen Farrell will be delighted with that first opportunity right in front of the sticks. Very tense coaching staff. Making England on the board.
Foley's restart now. Oh, and Bill does show his pace there. Chasing hard. Hitting Young, so no scrum half for England. Farrell plays that role. Tom Youngs comes through. That is his forte. His brother Ben now back in position. Watson's after this. Folau spells it. Launchbury offloads. Tom Wood. Good awareness from Launchbury. Good line from Wood. Launchbury in there again. Farrell. Joseph.
Advantage white again.
In comes Bill. Kuridrani now goes down on Parling. Ball did go forward, but England still have it here. Ben Morgan.
Advantage over.
To Mike Brown. In comes Adam Ashley Cooper.
Advantage.
England got more here. Potential penalty.
Tucker.
Youngs left by Joseph. And maybe a little flick to Brown. How robust was that from Mike Brown? Here's Joe Marler. Farrell, Australia denied England their fast start, but it's happening now as Parling took it on. Joseph again. And Ben Morgan once more. Here comes Fardy with a clatter along with Hooper. Now it's Jonny May. Youngs to Farrell, Barritt, Wood. Youngs again. Farrell to Tom Youngs. Hooper just tried to stop him any which way. Farrell, Joseph, up comes Adam Ashley Cooper. Pounces on that. Joseph holding on. There's a knock on there as well. Genia.
Advantage over.
Adam Ashley Cooper to chase that one, so Jonny May will get time here. Foley's first to arrive. May's kick.
And breathe. Incredible continuity from England. And it all stemmed for a what a take. Watson against Folau in the air. Jonny May showing what he can do in and around the ruck. But two impressive defensive decisions from Beale snuffed out England's attack. Breathtaking stuff. I think I actually saw Pocock miss his second tackle of Rugby World Cup. Incredible stats that he has. Mike Brown handing incredible Australian number 8. I just feel those moments do have a big impact in this game.
Well, here is Pocock. Might have seen Adam Ashley Cooper come into the line-out there. Referee stopped it. Well, we were going to get the numbers wrong. Not sure why Ashley Cooper came in. More. Genia. This big Kane Douglas. Cut short his contract with Leinster in Ireland to be part of this. Izzy Folau. Through. Robshaw as well. Foley. knocked on by Brown. Nearly got a bank for his troubles as well as Giteau went through. Australia were put into this scrum, and it was created by the bust from Israel Folau.
And that's where we see him at his best. Mismatches. England getting off the line so quickly. Probing kicks from Foley. That's why he's in the team.
Yeah.
To put pressure on Mike Brown at the back. Force those errors in defence. But Folau, England just racing up to try and stop any attack. And he just steps inside, fends, and he's through the gap. Really, really powerful runner.
It's only the second start in the test match for the half-back combination for Australia with Genia and Foley. But as you say, Andy, Foley rising to the challenge here, not just with his tackle on Watson, but those little rubber kicks causing issues for England. And that kick to the corner as well. Now he waits as Wood puts a boot into the scrum to try and disrupt it. Hooper has it. Genia, England trying to hold him up, can't do so. Hooper leaves.
Stay there, White, behind, 4.
No, he doesn't. And Marler and Cole, the England props, with the tackle. There's the Australian loose head, Theo. Close here for Australia.
Use it!
Genia. Giteau, little bit of Giteau magic. Well, he goes along with a pass to Beale and Folau. England have defended well, but they still need to. As Folau offloads to find Giteau. Is there a way through? If there is, he'll find it. Wasn't on that occasion. Pocock always looking to offload. Gone backwards. Kuridrani. You can see how Pocock carries the ball there. Looking for that chance to pass. Douglas. Genia. Foley. Here comes Giteau again. Folau. Watson's tackles. No joy at the moment for Australia down that flank.
Use it!
Genia. Hooper. And he went in hard on Farrell earlier. He gets a bit of his own medicine there. This is Kepu. Beale. Australia doing really well to keep this going. Now Foley, little dummy. Foley's going through. Oh, what a score from the fly half. Speed of thought and deed. The Australian way.
What a start from Foley. His kicks into the corner have pressurised Mike Brown into mistakes, and it's the width of the pass. Just numbers for England in defence, and one easy step and he is through. Class demonstration of fly half play by Bernard Foley.
The whole team worked so hard for it, but they are so grateful for the finish. It was of the highest class. Australia have the first try. They would not be denied. It's all Foley at the moment on the scoreboard for Australia. Can he make it 10-3? Oh, yes, he can.
Messaging for England here is the spacing. Look at the spacing, the indecision. Spacing in defence, so critical. There's the gap that's needed. Launchbury, no slouch. It's just too much work for him to do. Foley spots that and he's through. Larkham Checker delighted.
picking up Kuridrani again at the restart. Genia.
You stay 90. You
Foley.
stay.
He's not the tallest, but he will be feeling as tall as anybody on that pitch at the moment, the way it's going for him, Bernard Foley.
Australia just have to keep pushing on this
Line for
ascendancy
goal. Line for goal.
in territory, putting the squeeze on England.
On the line, goal. On the line.
England that are making more of the meters, but when you have the chance, it's all about taking it. Australia did that with Foley's brilliant break.
They did that, and they have done that for some time. Always England's major concern, the ability of Australia to take the chance. Now, what can England do? Joseph! Good tackle from Giteau. Once again, it seemed
No ball, no hand
the
from
English
the ball.
player was about to get away. Launchbury. Youngs gets there to find Farrell. Jonny May. He's lethal when he steps away, but again, the tackle comes in. This time from Genia. Youngs. Wood. Launchbury. Some game, isn't it? I think we all knew it would be. Barritt to Joseph. Watson tight, too risky. Here's Morgan. Barritt with him, driving on. Ball formed.
Ball out.
Robshaw. That line speed again from Australia. Top notch, isn't it? Joseph. Launchbury. And Pocock doing what Pocock does so well and helped out.
Turn of a ball.
That's Fardy in there too.
Ball available here. Use it.
Genia.
Back in.
Foley.
Stay.
He's feeling hot. And Mike Brown.
You stay wide, please.
This is Folau.
All Australia at the moment. Folau, a lengthy kick from deep. And it's Foley as well, finding
Stay where you are, Gold.
space in behind England, turning the England fullback, Mike
White.
Brown.
Come closer. Come closer.
But also, it's a message to England. If you want to play phases against us, you've got to throw numbers into the breakdown. Pocock straight in with the steal.
Fine. Still play on.
Just his third match at number 8. David Pocock, 2 tries, man of the match against Fiji. Australia playing with those 2 fetchers, Hooper and Pocock.
Hold there. Up now. One.
Farrell's up and under. And Ashley Cooper, Jonny May, knocked on. Managed to climb to get there, May, but couldn't control it.
Smart play by England, good kick, turning Australia. May very unlucky. Like to see him go up with 2 hands there. There isn't anyone in support to tap it back. So he must try and retrieve the ball rather than tap it down. Very dangerous with the likes of Folau and Beale in support. Great kick from Owen Farrell. Exactly the right tactics for the England pack. They want to go forward.
Go, Connie!
Crutch. Fine. Set.
Michael Checker saying yesterday Australia eliminated all the external noises for the scrum. They're just working on their own thing, working with the Ledesma and working very well indeed. That's the benefit of all their hard work.
Angle 1. Angle 1.
It is, and the England forwards,
So every time
they will get tired because they're having to defend.
Whistle blow.
The likes of
End of
Folau
story.
out wide. Marler just scurrying across to cover him, but that takes its toll. And some of the defensive hits, it's not in 1s and 2s, it's in 3s to try and stop Pocock and Hooper getting over the gain line, so it is tiring. And then you're asked to scrum. And Australia are keeping on, piling on the pressure here.
Well, that was Marler penalised for the angle, not driving straight, turning in. That was the point that was made on Australia's behalf by Bob Dwyer, their former coach, in the build-up to this match. But it was clear, it was there for the referee to see. Stephen Moore, Australia's most capped front rower. 98 now he has. Good long throw to the tail. And he found Rob Simmons. England have held it up though. Turnover for England. Screaming Moore to the referee, pointing out that the ball was in the air.
It was Ben Morgan that saved the day. Such an accurate throw from Moore to the back, and look at Ben Morgan there, in on the ball, holding it up with Robshaw, Youngs.
Yes.
Correctly, it is a Moore collapsed England ball, but it was Ben Morgan's anticipation. He had to get in there quickly because there was no one else in the line out to help him.
The penalty against Australia this time.
Have a look, the mark is there, you come forward. Penalty kick, second time.
That's what England have accused Australia of doing, just being a bit too keen on the drive early into it. Moving over the mark there. Second time, referee says that's not a free kick, that will be a penalty.
That would have been fine in
Stephen,
1991.
that happened every time they feed the scrum.
World Cup final. You engage and hit and get the ascendancy. Youngs.
When I penalise, every time I penalise, that was their feedback.
Ben Young, smart by the England scrum half, not putting the ball in, forcing a decision by Romain Poit.
Desmond, the calm one, just stroking his stubble. It's a good get out for England, that. Australia were building again.
White!
To the blind side of Jonny May. Stephen Moore clear, Jonny May. Big it back. It was. Launchbury. Oh, he is a big one when he's on the chart. He's Joe Launchbury. Marler. He's got to get up from those scrums and produce in the loose. It's going to be a wearing evening for the props. Ben Youngs wants the penalty. Farrell wants the ball. Parling. That had risk attached to it, but it's taken by Tom Youngs. At the breakdown again, it's number 8, Pocock. He is brilliant. There is no other word. Adam Ashley Cooper. Chance down from England. Parling's trying to get through. He's actually pulling the player back. Kick on from Farrell. Now Parling will claim that he was being obstructed. Referee, in if I can say a rather French way, just says, c'est la vie.
Play on. Launchbury prominent again. And if Farrell had kept his feet, super pressure on Will Genia.
Goal, please.
Goal
there.
It's the toe in, and that could go anywhere. But it's Launchbury and Ben Young sniping down the short side that started that attack for England. Just can't keep hold of the ball. It's Pocock again.
It's off Jonny May again there.
Advantage.
Obstruction for Kepu. It was an obstruction, so advantage played for Australia. And it's Foley trying another dart. I think referee Quack got that absolutely right. It was a bit of both on that chase through. Right response as well. It's calm and in control. Glad he's calm.
See how easy it is for Folau through the contact.
No,
Australia just needs some support runners.
On from Pocock, but it's forward. And then he's had 2 knee reconstructions. And he's bounced back from all of that. Little wink, he knew.
Can you watch him go past the ball? Yeah. Go back onto it.
The challenge for England is they know
we got done last week for it.
The danger of Pocock. They would have practiced all week, but he is so good. They still cannot get him off the ball, and it's his timing into the ruck. Just like Mako, it's the ability to time his runs into the rucks to then contest when England are least expecting it.
Actually came off England player's head there, didn't it? Just a question of how it left the hands of Pocock. There's no great complaint from Australia. I feel there will be bigger calls that will decide this.
I think Checker will be complaining. He'll be complaining that May was offside. But it is end-to-end. Both teams with continuity and fluency in attack. Foley prominent for Australia, pulling the strings. Giteau helping him.
Please, no more.
It's when
no more
Australia
pushing
get the width.
We went for penalties
so
for the second one, all right?
I hope Michael Checker's doctors aren't watching this. Talk about a coach living and breathing every minute.
Crutch!
He'd be in there scrumming if he could.
Bind! Set!
Just a year in charge. Turned it around. Not just the play, but the culture too. And certainly the scrum, although that has been moving for some time in the right direction. And the Australian 8 proving it again here.
England's ball, it's crabbing across. It does look like Dan Cole.
A challenge, more challenge.
Just collapsing. And Young's, if he had his time again, would have got that out quicker. Usable possession. And those are the tight decision-making calls that count so much in these games. Every single decision you make will have a bearing on this final result after 80 minutes.
6-6.
Adam Cooper at the front of the line out again, but this time it all adds up. There's Pocock. Carries well there, covered a lot of ground. Simmons on the floor, helped by Douglas. Foley switching the point of attack. That's interesting. Bill back to Foley. It's more than interesting. It is a beauty. And for England now, this is a sporting crisis. England will be hitting the button because Australia are moving here. With
Can we check the inside pass between number 10 goal and 23 goal?
It will be checked.
Between 10 and 23. I've got that for you.
Foley to Bill. This could be massive.
Nothing wrong with that.
That looks okay. Oh, it's tight when you see it there.
Romein?
Yes, Sean Beltsman.
There was no forward pass. You may award the try.
Thank you.
Right call.
Yeah, I know a forward pass when I see one, and that was beautifully orchestrated by Foley again. Utter class from Australia. The change of direction and the isolation of Ben Youngs with no inside support, and the fact that Foley wasn't put on the deck meant that he could follow up in support, and just brilliance from Australia.
It was tight, but that's exactly what Australia wanted it to be. The very best moves are right on the edge, and that one was. And Foley is having a dream day.
He is indeed. The timing of the pass, Ben Youngs in just no man's land. He couldn't go forward and take Foley out, knowing the gap was on the inside and he didn't have any cover. But he got caught, not making any decision.
Advantage, knock on wide.
Foley has punished them again.
Now at this level, it is not a lead that cannot be surmounted, but it's a big one. And Australia have already scored two beautiful tries. So the threat of that for England is never going to go away. England needs something quickly, and before half-time, Morgan just seemed to lose control of that for a second. Regathered though. Hooper's hanging almost there in the offside position, but England's flames fall on deaf ears. And now the space is right in behind, and Jonny May comes across.
And Australia taking the possession and territory stats away from England. England mistake. Youngs trying to play make from dummy half, and it was the Australian defence in their faces that meant the incomplete pass, and then it's just turnover. They are crucifying England with the long-range kicks, turning the England back three. Mike Brown with a couple of mistakes, uncharacteristic from him, but it's all about the pressure from Australia.
6 wins in their last 7 games. They're losing 6 of their previous 7. That's Australia. That's the form they're in. Defeating New Zealand, but on the back of victory over New Zealand the week before. Pocock holds the ball at the back of the maul. Now he's going to have to use it. Genia, Giteau. England being dazzled here by the Australian backline. Foley, Adam Ashley Cooper. And these now, for the host, desperate moments. Referee steps straight in.
But you land with the shooter. You land with the shooter.
Does he want another look?
Yeah. Thanks.
It's Hooper on the clear out and Brown. Referee was happy, just the penalty.
On the line, goal.
Determination from the Australian backs. And Hooper himself plays like a back forward on that occasion. Pretty mindless. Rocking, clear use of the shoulder, no arms. Very lucky the way this tournament's being officiated that he's still on the pitch.
That could have repercussions over the next few days. Wales, of course, watching this. They play Australia here next Saturday. And if Australia win,
13.
Wales go through with the Wallabies. England get a penalty seconds before the interval. Youngs wants the tempo, he wants the speed to try and grab a score.
Hands down now!
at the strength of
Pocock's technique again.
Incredible.
He's got muscles on muscles.
My time, Garrett.
And just when you've won that ruck, it's taken a Herculean effort to do that. Guess who's back in? Pocock, and then it's Hooper.
Tom Youngs with a clear out. Ben Youngs with the pass. Mike Brown. It's so much better for England if they could cut this Australian lead in half before half-time, but they will not be able to do that. That is half-time. Previously, a host has never gone out of a World Cup at the pool stage, but England are 40 minutes away from doing that. 3 hosts have gone on to win it, New Zealand twice and South Africa in 1995. Australia leading here by 17 points to 3. Andy.
I was watching the players run off the field. It was the Australian captain, Stephen Moore, who was first off. He was chest out, knowing full well they are all over England. Closely followed by some of the leaders in the team, Giteau, Foley, who's having an outstanding game, but he's having an outstanding game because his forwards are taking the ball forward and winning the contact area.
So much, as you say, is happening right for Australia. Half-time at Twickenham. Australia leading by 17 points to 3. 2 tries scored by Bernard Foley. All the points scored by Foley. But this has been a total, complete team effort from Australia. And in the Australian dressing room, no doubt a feeling that the job is half done, maybe a little bit more than that, but not fully done. There'll be no relaxation from an Australian sporting team. Not when there's a chance to put England out of their own World Cup. England reviewing the events of the first half, and by and large it's not pretty viewing for these England players. Look at the concentration and attention there, living every second of the coverage. Can England amend? Can they make up for those mistakes? The story of this dramatic first half of this Pool A game. Twickenham absolutely pumped for the occasion, but so too Australia. Early chance, lost by Folau. Split second, didn't get it away. Brown stepped in. But this man, Bernard Foley, has had a dream of a World Cup half. Everything he has done has turned to gold in his golden jersey. England came up with this move early on. Anthony Watson nearly away.
In glimpses from May and Watson, but a lack of join-up from the England team, just highlighting they're unsure of their strategy. Australia precise in everything they do.
Not though at that scrum. That was the first chance for England points. England's only points from that collapsed scrum. Tackling has been brutal from both sides, but England have been forced into more tackles inside their own 22. That has been the problem, because Australia have been so precise in that area as well. England have struggled to cope with the threats. Foley's first try.
Wonderful running from Pocock. He's just not a pilferer of the ball, he's also an attacking threat. From Genia and Foley just in pure control. Lovely hands in between Ben Young's and just untouched. Incredible strategy by Australia.
Both covering back row, both covering lock, but not the out-and-out fetcher that is causing so much damage to England with Michael Huber and David Pocock.
He'll be looking to make substitutions very quickly, Lancaster. If it isn't a big start in the first 5 minutes, Easter and Kruis will find themselves on very quickly.
Australia coming out, England already there. England having done their half-time analysis. And England are making a change. George Ford is coming on. It's Jonny May who's gone. And we're hearing that Jonny May has injured his calf.
I think he's not on the ground.
England's back replacement, scrum half Wigglesworth, that man Ford, and Sam Burgess. So there will be a rearrangement of the back line. Of course, Jonathan Joseph can go to the wing. George Ford on then. Last November he scored 16 points against Australia. If you can do that in the second half, England might have a chance here. But Australia holding all the aces here. 17-3 they lead, and Beale, their replacement in the first half for winger Rob Horne. Both 11s having left the field now. Australia's Horne, England's May. Beale nearly onto that kickoff.
Back in. Stay, Seven!
Ford
Up, stop!
Adam Ashley Cooper, 110 test matches now. Simmons, Genia. Australia will know one more score here. And that is the proverbial mountain for England.
Tackle!
Genia. Kuridrani. Marler slaps him with a tackle. Genia short side, nearly worked. Launchbury aware of it.
Better physicality as Tom Wood claps his team from England. Bigger hits, and that force change means that England have to be clear in their strategy with Ford on the pitch. Farrell at 12.
Well, let's find out more about the England injury situation. Sonia McLaughlin is our touchline reporter. Sonia.
Well, as the team came back out, the England team came back out for the second half, it looked like Jonny May was going to run out onto the pitch with them, but he also stopped. He almost immediately stopped in his tracks. He was hobbling very heavily on his left side. It looked like a calf injury. So that's meant we've now got this England reshuffle in the back line, as you say, with Watson going to the wing, Ford at 10, and Farrell into the centre.
And there is Farrell trying to get back for England.
Stay there.
And Parling too. Morgan. Robshaw. Farrell on the chase now from the kick with Watson.
Advantage,
and in from Watson. England just haven't claimed those high balls today. 2 or 3 knock-ons from them. Referee will consider advantage over soon if Australia retain this possession. No, nothing coming back.
Enterprising kicking game again from Australia.
Not an advantage.
It was on the narrow side. You see Folau against Watson. Watson this time in attack, getting the height. Just like to see the England wingers try to catch it with two hands rather than trying to tap it down to any oncoming support. It hasn't worked for them. The England fans worried, trying to get their team back into this. Line-out ball lost, and it was Hooper, the specialist number 7, that got his hands on it first to give Australia even more possession.
Set.
Scrum on the move that time. Power seemed to be coming from England. Pocock did well. Very well. Launchbury, hands on that. Wood taps it back, finds Cole, but Australian hand might have been involved as well. Forward to Farrell. Barritt back at 13, where he played against Australia. That position of outside centre. So heroically last autumn. Mike Brown. Pocock in there again.
Oh, it's masterful.
No.
Pocock is arguably the best in the world at timing to contest the ruck. He is so quick on the ball. You have to push the ball back. Question marks whether he had actually released the tackler there, but because he is so dominant, Romain Poit believes that he has released and he's on the ball. It's incredible.
I think he had it. I think he'd done it. It just happened so quickly, came off and on in a flash. And it's the strength and the power of the man, the lower half of his body, just to set himself in stone there and then use the top half, the upper body, with all that muscle as well, to get his hands on the ball. It belongs to him today, that ball. Moore, the captain. Foley. Kuridrani. Folau. Genia. Simmons. England just can't do the same at the breakdown. Moore. Well, Robshaw's trying. Just frustrated there as Genia gets in there. Hooper to Giteau.
Ball touch, ball touch, ball touch!
Yes, it did. Referee calls it. Giteau knew it.
And again, England, will they rue the day of a non-specialist number 7. Morgan just tried to fly hack it when any other 7, I know he's number 8, but any other 7, Hooper, would dive on the ball, get possession back. And England are trying to fly hack it through and just not low enough in the breakdown.
Well, if England do go out of this, of course the debate will re-emerge. Stefan Armitage, star for too long in European competition, but not eligible under English rules.
7 for 6.
Australia changed theirs. Anyone over 60 caps with relevant years' experience in a Wallaby jersey allowed back in at Giteau. Drew Mitchell, Toulon men.
And these two have the all-round game as well. Who is the player that's taken the ball at the front of the line-out, the last 2 line-outs? It is number 7, Michael Hooper. They have an all-round game that is destroying England.
And Australia knew they had to vary that. It couldn't all be to Fardy. Or indeed the locks. Hooper playing such a dominant role in all that he does too.
Bind. Set.
I'm sure Pocock will be first to say about Hooper's role and vice versa. Penalty at the scrum for Australia. They remember Marseille. The last time these two men in a World Cup match, and what England, what Andrew Sheridan, England's giant prop, did to Australia that day. Well, there is some sweet revenge for the likes of Stephen Moore, who's involved in that match, Adam Ashley Cooper, Matt Giteau as well.
We don't need you. We don't need you, skipper. Please.
Third penalty at the scrum for Australia.
You are definitely not straight.
Is he straight, sir?
No, yeah, he is. He is.
Oh, okay.
Now you have to be very disciplined and get a straight angle pushing. All right.
It's the pre-match issue that has come to light in the match.
Number one, not straight.
Total domination from Australia. You see the fist pumps from Foley and Giteau, and in they come. They'll see all of this. He's winding up the England team. Far better running from England. Attacking the line. Tom Young's over the gain line, but it isn't good enough at the moment. Utter control from Australia.
We haven't played 50 minutes, and if this goes over, Bernard Foley will have his best personal tally in an international. His previous best, 18 against Wales. This to take it to 20 for Foley, 20 for Australia. First score of the second half is going Foley's way. And that takes it beyond those 2 tries and 2 conversions. England making changes. Mako Vunipola is on in the front row. Richard Wigglesworth is on at scrum half. Marler, too many penalties, too many concerns. Ben Youngs maybe just carrying that knock to his ankle as well, but Wigglesworth comes on to offer his control. England need a whole lot more. Taken by Douglas. Fardy.
You stay there, please.
Foley. Wigglesworth nearly right into the match there with a charge down. George Ford. Mike Brown.
Numbers left here for England.
Farrell and Ford combined. That is Joseph and Launchbury. Launchbury close to that touchline. Maurice Maitreya of Italy taking a good walk.
Off the ball, number 4.
England have a penalty for that challenge off the ball.
Yeah, I got him.
Morgan. Half an hour for England to change this, to survive in this World Cup.
And with those opportunities with advantage, England have to go for it. Super ball from Ford. Wood running a hard line. Douglas choosing to jump out. And try and get the ascendancy on Robshaw, hitting behind the gain line. Wigglesworth brought on to add some speed of ball at the breakdown.
One player's for
Ford's pass buying the penalty. Douglas charging up. Couldn't stop.
Please. Time back on.
England needs the Twickenham crowd here. This is a monumental effort to get back into this game.
Stay on your side, no connection.
Prince Harry lending his voice.
Collision, stay on your side. No collision.
Geoff Parling, the new man. Mako Vunipola, his brother Billy, now out of the tournament. His bonus point try against Fiji might count for zip. If England don't win this, might count for a lot if they do win this. Wigglesworth, Ford. England try and find those tries that were so evident in the Six Nations. Joseph, Farrell, Brown, Watson. Forced to slip and catch. Wigglesworth Vunipola, Farrell, England have men for Joseph. Hand comes in from Foley. I think he was trying to catch it.
The white man.
Hard to argue that was deliberate, really. Referee's called that just a knock-on. Crowd don't like it. But that second attempt from Foley proved he was trying to intercept that.
That was butchered by England. It was Dan Cole that stopped Foley intercepting it.
Ford and Brown. Joseph, here comes Fardy. And now it's back for the knock-on as England are driven backwards. Crowd don't like it, but that was it again. The referee was very happy at the time.
Chris Robshaw not. Foley thinks he would have caught it, and I think so too. Look, he's gone for the intercept. Now he's held back by Dan Cole. He could have been away. And it could have really been game over. He has gone for the intercept.
Yeah. Okay.
It is a deliberate tap, but he could have caught it. But England butchered the chance. Look at the men over.
England supporters want the deliberate knock-on. Australian supporters
There was no deliberate knock-on, just a knock-on from Gold. And just have a word with 3 white. Okay.
Just a word then for Dan Cole.
Very lucky. Brilliant attack from England. They had the numbers. It was Joseph who just held on to it too long. Just quick hands with the width. England were in.
Please go.
The difference between these two teams is when you get the opportunity, you have to take your chances. And England have squandered another chance.
Bind. Set.
Ball in danger of going right the way through the tunnel. Australia have to get this.
Same ball.
And again, that's all right.
Maybe not.
That's all right, lads, and again.
Maybe not.
Listen to the chatter from Australia.
Just on this side.
They're in such control.
Stay quiet. Wait the ball. Wait
It's
the ball.
okay, lads. They're saying we go again. The energy from this performance, it's giving Pocock and his team more. Is standing 7 foot tall at the moment. They're in the ascendancy. They are squeezing and hurting England.
Kieran Brookes for Dan Cole. Cole looked very worried after that scrum.
We work all together, and I'm sure we will find the right way to keep it straight. Okay, to keep it straight. That's coming from this angle.
The forwards coming on now. They're very much needed because for the likes of Marler and Cole, they've had to work so hard in defence. They have been stretched by this Australian attack.
Square, lads. What's them going at it? Square.
Coach.
We're all wrapped up in the Twickenham world at the moment, but just imagine what is happening in Wales as they watch this. Australia win, they go through, Wales go through. Farrell's down again. Beale with the tackle.
Use it!
No loss of speed having Beale on the field for Horne. Or the quality of decision-making, indeed execution on that try for Foley in the first half. Moore holds up an arm, the captain asks his team to hold their line, keep their discipline here. Vunipola.
Contact initial
by the carrying impact for England. Good territory for England. Can they get the points as Ford finds Wood? Parling, Ford, Vunipola again. hurt the Lions.
Advantage.
Hurt the Australians with the Lions in 2013.
Number 6, not the lead.
Vunipola with carries like that. Brookes now. Farrell to Morgan and Barritt.
Who's in defence? Hooper.
Wigglesworth to Ford. Have they managed to work some space? Maybe. Wood is waiting outside. Anthony Watson. England on their way.
Had to score. We've had to wait 55 minutes for an England player to run so hard and determined to get over the line. England had the penalty. Ford's width out of Foley in the first half. And look at the determination on Watson. England had to score to get back into this game.
England will know it's just a start. But in the pool game, to beat all pool games, this feels now much more of a contest. England have had a lot of ball, a lot of territory, and they do have the points to show for it. And every point certainly matters, and Farrell has delivered 2 more here. 10 between the teams. Australia about to make a double front row change. Slipper and Holmes to come on. Here's the Watson finish.
Strength, power, and sheer determination. England have been missing this in the first half. And game back on.
And Watson shows the composure on the restart.
Ball out.
5 tries in his last 6 matches for England. Said he was running hot. Was running straight there. Used his pace, yes, but also strength.
Stay wide.
Ford to touch.
England will be happy to clear their lines. It's now cool heads. Ford at fly half. Perfect timing for his introduction.
Time off.
Same with this man, Nick Easter. Ford has given the attack
Stefan.
more width, there's more numbers.
Closer.
And had they not butchered that opportunity early on, and Foley nearly went the length of the field, well, it could be 20 points to 17.
Easter for Morgan.
6-9.
37-year-old Nick Easter now in his 3rd World Cup. England survivor from Marseille in 2007. More over the top. But still work here for Australia as Giteau slides in. Fardy, good drive. Genia, more. There's new man Holmes wearing 18. Getting stuck into the drive. New man Slipper wearing 17. Getting stuck in as well. Foley to Beale. Giteau. England have it. Tom Youngs. Is the tide turning here? Wigglesworth. That's what you get with Wigglesworth, that accurate kicking.
Stay goal!
Adam Ashley Cooper to Mike Brown. George Ford. Owen Farrell.
Stay 17!
2 mates together in the England midfield.
8! No, stop! 14!
Rivals, yes, but mates above all other things.
Wide! Stay 4!
Farrell. This time, it's a chance for Australia to run it back. Simmons doing well to swivel out of the first tackle and carry on. Genia, Giteau. Never afraid to try and get underneath the tackle, Matt Giteau. Genia's kick plays for position. England go. Mike Brown.
Stay wide.
Folau's pass. Beale's kick. Give that a thwack. Wigglesworth is covering. Got time to get distance on this. He'll need it. Excellent kick from Richard Wigglesworth. That's gone a long way. Not sure if he's calling his teammates or the assistant, George Clancy. I think Phipps comes on at scrum half. Off goes Genia.
It's an absolute rallying call from Wigglesworth. Wood clapping his number 9. Beautifully weighted kick. Australia winning the kicking battle, but Wigglesworth giving England some much needed territory. Real opportunity. Moore has been so slick in his line-out throwing. Australia safe in the line-outs. England have to get up here and win possession.
Rob Webber will be the opposing hooker to Stephen Moore. He's replaced Tom Youngs. Moore throws. England steal the line-out. Was a worry going into the match for Australia, that line-out. He sorted it out at the Millennium against Fiji with Dean Munn. Didn't need to worry too much against Uruguay. And nor will England if they can get to that final match, having won this penalty, breakdown penalty, again, won by Australia.
Huge defence from Australia. Nick Easter, the first receiver to carry in, and then Wigglesworth got caught in two minds in the direction he was going. And look how slow the England forwards are there. Launchbury, Parling. And guess who's on the ball? If it's not Pocock, it's that man, Michael Hooper.
The man with the English father.
Oh, don't say that, Miles.
I think it motivates him even more. He's very happy to be Sydney-born, to be Australian. Proud Australian is Michael Hooper. His dad went there.
Wide, please, 6.
And Australia have benefited from his presence, not just tonight, but for the last 48 caps. And alongside Pocock, such a potent force. Simmons takes. Pocock with the ball again.
No.
Phipps will have to play it. Greg Holmes used as the battering ram. Simmons too. Phipps, Kuridrani. Oh, it's strong from Kuridrani. Farrell and Barritt to put him down. Phipps again. And once more the replacement scrum half. Foley, Adam Ashley Cooper. Australia tantalisingly close to what could be the match-winning score. Beale and Moore. Moore carries, looks for the offload, just had a glance. There goes Simmons. But this time is the Australian attack going to break down. Folau. England surge up in defence. Phipps. Oh, that's loose. That could go anywhere. Falls onto it. Beale goes back. Great defence from England. Beale is caught. Released pretty quickly, but it's the penalty. England now have decision time again.
And Farrell screaming for it on the left. There's only Fardy and Kuridrani. Farrell wanted a tap and go, but really the sensible approach is to take the 3. Real pendulum shift there. Australia keeping hold of the ball well, but two shocking passes
he's on the way
from Phipps. England lucky to get the opportunity. Bounce of the ball. Horrible ball. No one taking control. Foley stood at second receiver, but two shockers from Phipps. Surely an injury to Genia going off. Why would you take a world-class scrum half off?
You are coming off?
Ford just couldn't keep his feet. Wow. This could be a moment where England can now turn the screw on Australia and put the pressure on, a la Wales did to England.
Sitting off 12.
Sam Burgess comes on, Brad Barritt certainly hurt.
Barritt heroic again in defence. Body on the line. But this is the moment for Slamming Sam to come on and again inspire 14 players to hit with him.
At its worst for England, it got to 23. It's not now. England 13, Australia 20. We have just over 15 minutes to play.
And I thought with Australia in possession, multi-phase, had Australia had a Jonny Wilkinson, I'm absolutely convinced he'd have sat in the pocket and taken 3 points, dropped a goal over, would have been smart play, but Foley and Giteau had no chance to do it.
So the captain goes, Tatafu Polota-Nau comes on, Dean Mumm's out there as well, Matt Tamua's come on. And there goes Dean Mumm, who led Australia against Uruguay in match 2. Can he be a leader here to see Australia through to victory? That is far from certain now as the outcome.
Good again from England, even though Ford hasn't got the distance. Pressure from Tamua, and they'll be happy now. They're forcing Australia. Are you going to play? Are you going to drive? You've got to win possession. Inspirational captain Moore off. Pressure on the new hooker.
6 man.
Polota-Nau.
Pocock. Phipps, that's better. Was a shocking pass that led to the penalty. Foley. It's attacking all on his own there. Phipps caught in possession. It's not going well for the replacement Australian scrum half. It has happened, of course, recently in the game against New Zealand when Nick White closed it out. He'll make the squad right. In goes Tamua as it breaks there for England and Joseph. George Ford. Well, that's going to run. Beale drags it back.
Stay good.
Well covered by Ford, who was right there where he needed to be.
Space left for Ford. He's gone aerial.
It's the up and under. And it's Foley. And he's got plenty of gold shirts there. Nice from Fardy, didn't panic. Giteau to Tamua. Giteau again. It's a slugfest now.
It's got loose.
Hooper. Phipps. Needs protection, Phipps, you feel. Kuridrani. Phipps. Australia, England at its rawest here. Phipps again to Foley. Here is Foley once more. Lost the ball in the tackle. It wasn't happening to Australia in the first period.
Brilliant tap from Wigglesworth on his opposite number. Phipps putting pressure on the Australian halfbacks. with no number 7 in the team, they cannot contest the rucks. But what they can do is get the timing. Wigglesworth on that occasion, tackling from the base for any scrum half in the world. That is the worst thing that can happen to you. You're dilly-dallying over the ball, you're taking too long to make a decision, you get tapped by your opposite number. Timely by Wigglesworth.
George Kruis coming on for his first introduction into World Cup rugby. What a way to start.
They'll need
as I said to go, sometimes we didn't play scrum, but we stayed focused.
To demolish the rocks and walls. It is, Launchbury's been immense. Hung on in there, but the freshness of Kruis on. Timely for England. I think that England management, I think it could be a lot worse. They're back in this game. The connotations of a draw suddenly come into play.
And they're not great for England. They're not great. Go through that in a second. England need to try and win it if they can. Both sides standing up as the referees call there. So Wales are on 13 points. If this game is drawn, Australia will be on 11 and England will be on 8. 5 match points behind Wales. So even if England bonus point against Uruguay, because Wales have beaten England, that would be enough to see Wales through. Wales will qualify if this match is drawn. England will be relying on Wales beating Australia. Therefore, they could overhaul Australia.
Right. Set.
Another battle of the number 10s.
And of course, England have to get the draw first. Watson out on the fall. He'll be disgusted with himself because he's added so much, certainly in this second half.
All we wanted to see was Watson with a one-on-one against Foley. Poor chip. Not sure on the decision from Wigglesworth at the base there. England will have needed territory to get up the pitch, squeeze Australia into a mistake, get a vital penalty.
Australia have grabbed the territory back. Oh, it's getting very complicated. That looked a bit high.
Sean, please check on the 11.
Referee wants to check it. Ball was lost forward, no doubt about that. England supporters celebrating the touch fine, but might not matter.
Please, Sean, can we have a look about the tackle without the ball on 12 goal, please?
Huge collision. Huge collision. Is there any arms in the hit, and does he actually have the ball? He doesn't. It's a high tackle from Burgess. And I thought Giteau had the ball. He has not the ball. It's a fair tackle when you have the ball.
Well, Farrell has taken down Giteau, and Burgess has taken Hooper high.
Definite penalty to Australia. It's just whether it's going to be a yellow card. In real time, I thought Hooper had got the ball to Giteau.
No, please don't talk.
Romain,
yes, please.
Those were all the angles.
Okay.
You're looking at number 10 white.
Yeah. Number 10 white, tackle without the ball.
Tackling without the ball.
Yes, okay, just a penalty. Just a penalty?
Are you asking just a penalty?
Just a... Can we show another angle where he landed?
Okay, want to see another angle?
Are you happy with the penalty?
Romain, speak loud, I can't hear you.
Sean Beltsman is being asked for his view whether a
he's under the shoulder.
Sufficient.
He's under the shoulder.
Romain?
Yes?
If you can hear me, he's using his shoulder to tackle 12 goal without the ball.
Okay.
So what is it, penalty?
What's your recommendation?
Or yellow card?
The recommendation would be a penalty.
Yes?
And a yellow card.
Okay.
The full sanction.
Please.
had to be one of them, didn't it? Burgess with the high tackle.
He tackled clearly the man without the ball. He didn't watch anything, just tackled the man without the ball. That's a yellow card against 10 white.
Is he not in front now, blocking first?
Well, Michael Hooper, who's now captain of Australia, is not going to argue with that.
You never watch, and you kill the
Is it in front of the person that got the ball?
Please.
So what about the one on me up there? No?
Well, nothing that arguing will do for Owen Farrell. He's got to go 10 minutes the rest of the game. England will play with just 14 men. And Australia have this shot to take themselves beyond the one score.
Superb by Australia, going for the move.
Hey, I don't want to talk again before the line out.
Farrell trying to highlight that he's in front of the ball, which he is, but there are two illegal tackles there.
Decision made, bro.
It's an easy decision for Romain Poit.
Yeah, that will be okay.
Even though it's taken an eternity to get there.
And even though he needed his television match official to steer him in that direction, but look, if he's feeling he's not getting the view necessarily he wants from the screen in the ground, and the replays were all there for the television match official, but
23
is a big screen, but he's a long way away. He's entitled to go to the TMO.
Just down.
Yeah, okay.
That's what he's there for, to help make that big call. Foley, all 20 points, but these are the most important on offer now. These are the ones that take Foley, take Australia potentially away from England. These are the points that could dump the hosts out of the competition, making history. Foley. How narrow those posts must feel. How wide he made them look in the end. The Wallabies have come here, leaving nothing to chance. They want it done today.
Stay good.
Foley to Brown, and England now have barely one finger on the cliff edge. Through to Australia, they're entitled to do that. They were looking at the referee, but the ball was clearly out. Parling, Wigglesworth. And look at the anxiety on those England players now. They're just seeping out of their play, and Australia will put in. They're not quite in the position to run down the clock, but Stuart Lancaster knows.
It's for England now, 14 men. Australia will not hold back here. They only know one way. Farrell off the pitch now. They will attack. They will look to put this to bed. Scrum has been working well. Disrupted England.
Set.
Pocock off the base. And any infringement here for England. Foley hasn't looked like missing. Lancaster now knows. England had a chance to get back in. 7-point difference. But a complete mistake in the defensive structure. 2 illegal tackles. And suddenly, time is running away. Penalty scrum.
Australia love scoring tries, we know that. But they will love that too. That penalty, how it came about, the significance of it.
Class performance by Australia.
Yeah.
They have looked at every facet of the game. Look at the fist pumping from Fardy. With Pocock and Hooper in the team, he has had a majestic game, allowed to roam, make his carries, make his tackles. Almost they give him the ability, as England fans are now leaving. Horrific sight for the Twickenham faithful. It just shows what a destructive performance Australia have put forward.
For England, it was never meant to end like this. When you think what has been paid for the tickets, the fans leaving early. Foley again. They know now. It is going to have to be something quite remarkable from England from here. Down to 14 men.
I'll never forget 2007, after the tournament. I was in Sydney for my sister-in-law's wedding and I bumped into Ewan McKenzie and he said England came off the pitch battered and bruised, cuts, blood everywhere. Australia didn't, and it just looks the opposite for England.
Kruis drops the ball.
2-0 gone, scrum.
England, this time, will not be getting their hands on the Rugby World Cup.
It's Australia that are the ones that have physically dominated in the scrum, in the line-outs, and they have been masterful in the rucks. It has been the Hooper and Pocock show. Our inability to get our heads over the ball and pilfer and steal and slow ball down has been horribly demonstrated and highlighted by those two.
Scrum breakdown leading to clinical finishing. There goes the scrum again. England have no answer. At their home, England's home, Australia delivering. And as agonising as this is for England and their supporters, the contrast for Australia. You can just imagine the scenes from Sydney to Perth and what this means for Wallaby Rugby, as Australia now are on the edge of levelling World Cup contest between these two. They will have the bragging rights now. Theirs will be the latest win, and it has been built on these foundations.
It's one of the biggest turnarounds in sporting history, that a scrum can be one of the weakest in the world, but brilliance in attack, and yet they're now one of the strongest in the scrum. Such a short turnaround. Incredible.
Scrum penalty, breakdown, turnover. Is it another try to finish, to really rub it in? Phipps. Slipper. He hasn't scored in his 70 internationals now, but he certainly has helped change the perception, the reality of the Australian scrum. James Slipper.
Mike Brown's fight there at the end, just a little bit too late.
Burgess on, Watson goes. England still trying, but they've got to score now. Take the conversion, then score again. It's under 2 minutes. Easter, knowing more than any other player on the field that this will be his World Cup goodbye. Wigglesworth Ford, Joseph, Watson. Tamura's got it. In come Australia again. Punch after punch they land at the breakdown. Hooper, one of the major reasons. He finds Foley. Foley to Adam Ashley Cooper. He's got Matt Giteau outside. Gives it to Giteau. And Giteau to round it off. Australia have dumped the host out of the competition. This is a World Cup dream come true for them. A nightmare for Chris Robshaw in England.
How much does he deserve that?
Stop the time. Time off.
The veteran
Garrett.
Australian playmaker has been simply exceptional this evening. Checker, fist pump. Got everything right this evening. Foley, another brilliant play, brilliant pass, and then Adam Ashley Cooper knew exactly what was happening. The long, big dive right in front of the Australian support. Look at the delight on Giteau's face.
And the symbolism of that, the man recalled, has been playing his club rugby with Toulon to such great effect. And don't England players know that? Well, they also know now that Matt Giteau is a Wallaby again. And Giteau, 13 years after his debut on this ground, delivers the final stake in the heart of England's World Cup hopes in 2015. And it is now Australia's biggest ever win over England at Twickenham, if they needed any more icing. Foley
hasn't looked
makes
like
it even better, or for England even worse. It's over, the match and England's World Cup. The hosts are out, and with a game still to play. For England, the unthinkable has happened. For Australia, they have done it. Not only is their progression guaranteed, they have delivered the knockout blow to one of their great sporting rivals. They qualify, joy in Wales too. As they qualify, it is England who are the ones to fall in Pool A. England 13, Australia 33.
Devastation for the England captain, Chris Robshaw. Euphoria for the Australian fans. The slow realisation that England are out of the 2015 Rugby World Cup. These Australian players have dominated in every facet of play. Incredible performance. England, utter disappointment, and how are they going to pick themselves up?
They will have to, because the tournament goes on. Not for them in terms of qualification, but they will play Uruguay in Manchester next week. Not quite the spreading of the rugby word around the country, the World Cup word by England that they were planning for that game. But the party will go on. England 2015 will continue, but not with Stuart Lancaster's side. Australia, well, for them now, it is about playing Wales to see who tops the pool. And what a clash that is set to be here at Twickenham in a week's time. Both sides will have had at least a week's rest. Wales a little bit more, though. They, of course, had to back up against Fiji this week. But Wales did what they had to do in Cardiff on Thursday. They sat back and they have watched Australia do the rest for them here today. And Australia turned up in absolutely every aspect of their game. England well beaten, no doubt about that. There was a spell in the second half when England bravely came back, trailing at one stage by 20 points to 3. It went to 2013, and there was more than a glimmer of hope for these English players. But in the end, they simply did not have enough, and Australia walk away with the spoils, with the qualification. Their captain is Stephen Moore, and he is going to talk to Sonia McLaughlin.
Stephen, into the quarterfinals with a game to spare. Can you sum up the wannabe mood right now?
Oh, look, I'm just proud of the effort. We had a good week together this weekend. The boys played for each other. I'd like to thank England. They gave us a real tough game. We knew it was going to be tough to win here, and most of all, I'd like to thank all the Aussie supporters in the crowd and watching back home. We're very proud to be Australian.
You got the result. How pleased with the manner of the victory, particularly in that first 40?
Oh, look, we just wanted to do what we knew was important to us. We weren't too worried about the score. We just wanted to play well, and you know, the boys put in for each other, and that's what matters most to us.
A little word on David Pocock. He was quite brilliant at the breakdown. He's had to fight his way back from some pretty serious injuries. To come back to this level is incredible. Yeah,
he has. Look, the guy's a credit to himself and to his family, and you know, it's an honour to play alongside him. So I think everyone out there tonight did themselves and their families proud. And you know, we've got a huge game next week against Wales, so we'll dust off and go again.
Well done.
Thank you.
Stephen Moore, the victorious Australian captain. David Pocock is a bit of an activist. He changed himself to railings with whatever cause he has. Well, he chained himself to the England breakdown today and came up time and time again with that rugby ball, aided and abetted by Michael Hooper. What a combination they proved to be. And in the context of the competition, what a signal those two have sent out to the rest. So we've heard from Australia. What about the England boss, Stuart Lancaster? He will talk to us now.
Stuart, you're out of your own World Cup with a game to spare. Can you even begin to describe the emotions right now?
Not really, no. Just gutted. Gutted for all the fans and everyone at home, and you know, I don't know what to say really, because everyone's put so much effort in and the sport's been fantastic, but yeah, I'm sorry we'll let everyone down.
Did any hope of winning that match slip away with Owen Farrell's yellow card?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, in the first half, you know, we went in 17-3. That was a tough scoreline, I felt, you know, given the way the game had gone in the first half. Got back to 2013 and we're in the game, weren't we? But the last 5 or 10 minutes, Australia dominated and deserved to win.
This pool was always going to be tough, but where do you believe England ultimately came up short?
Well, last week and this week. That's the bottom line, isn't it? And, you know, some fantastic young players in that England team. There's 24 players playing the first World Cup, and it's going to hurt so badly. And but they'll be a good team, and you know, I want the country to stay behind the lads because they're good lads.
Will you stay behind them?
Obviously, it's not up to me really, but I've just got to get them ready for next week now and put in performance up north in Manchester against Uruguay.
Hard lines.
Quite clearly, there will be some questions to be answered. The media furore will certainly happen. There'll be some storm after this, but not for Michael Checker. He's with Sonia.
Michael, you're not afraid to show your emotions when you watch your team. What are they right now, knowing you're into the last 8?
I'm a bit calmer now, you know, the game's finished. I want to thank all the Australian supporters. It's not easy to come here and out cheer the English, but there were times there where we really did that, and I really appreciate it. Hope we make you proud throughout the rest of the tournament.
28 points from Bernard Foley. How impressed with your fly half today?
Yeah, look, you know, he got the points, which was good. I didn't actually realise that he clocked them all up, but he set the tone as a 5'8", and which he needs to do. And our playmakers, our generals, stood up there. We came under a bit of heat in the second half, and and they took responsibility. And then he gets the rewards with points, but they're from the team, you know.
How much does your scrum coach, Mario Ledesma, deserve a big pat on the back?
Oh, look, it's like we said, it's a very humbling part of the game. You can dominate one and you can get your pants pulled down in the next one. So you've got to make sure you're consistent, and we've got to keep working hard on that part of the game. It was good tonight, but we're just another step along the way. It's only more difficult now. We've got a pumped up Wales coming up next, but I'm really proud of my lads tonight. They're very good.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So, as the Aussie players continue their celebrations and applauding the crowd rightly, we'll gather our thoughts.
No wonder Michael Cheika is proud of this team. And look at the joy on those Australian faces, but he's right to also say, as earth-shattering as this is for England, looking at the whole of the World Cup, Australia, of course, still have so much to do, but they at least are in a very good position from which to do it. Contest with Wales next week will be one almighty clash. They are the two teams that have qualified from Pool A.
What we've seen in this World Cup is some amazing performances from players, but it's also some amazing performances from the backroom teams, especially the coaches, to get the strategy exactly right. When you think of Eddie Jones with Japan and that monumental win against South Africa, and the strategy and how they performed, and really Australia's strategy was in a different class to England's. Two generals have killed England. Foley, Dan Biggar, when the home team could not decide which number 10 to go with, and that indecision has ultimately cost England.
And their captain Robshaw, whose World Cup dream is now over. Stephen Moore, Australia's leader, far from over. So the Wallaby fans do not want to leave, and why should they? David Pocock sharing a few moments with friends and family. What an amazing performance that was. But it's not as if the writing was not on the wall for England in that department. Pocock and Hooper, Hooper and Pocock, brothers in arms. And with arms around his loved ones, Stephen Moore.
For those of you still here in the stadium, and I'm assuming most of you are.
So England have gone out of the Rugby World Cup. It's happened here in Twickenham tonight, England's home. And it was built on such solid foundations for Australia. Their scrum, more than parity for that particular element of the game for Australia, and that has not always been the case against England. Anthony Watson gave England hope with that strong finish. Another try for him, 5 in 6, but England's form winger finding out today that Australia just had more. It was a loose moment from Phipps, the reserve scrum half who came on. It gave England another 3 points, and at that juncture, 13-20, England was starting to believe. But then that Farrell penalty, sin bin. In fact, the tackle from Burgess was high as well on Hooper, but Farrell taking Giteau out. England finished the game with 14 men. And I suppose the irony for England on top of that was that Giteau was the man to supply the finishing touch. Another scrum penalty before that. Foley We've got a record points tally for him tonight. And then this. England were down and out at this point. Brookes the caught in the wide channel. Adam Ashley Cooper never wastes those. Matt Giteau's played with him often enough. Chris Robshaw is on standby to talk to Sonia.
Chris, can you put into words the sense of disappointment right now in that England dressing room?
Not really. As you can imagine, yeah, not a lot's been said. Devastated, gutted. As a team, we feel we've let the country down. There was a lot of hope on us. The fans have all been fantastic throughout the whole time, and unfortunately, as players, as a squad, we haven't quite delivered. Credit to Australia today. I think they played extremely well, and they probably deserved it today. Yeah, just gutted.
Is that the reality, that you were simply beaten by the better team here in Australia?
Yeah, potentially. I think they played well today. We had a good patch in the second half, but unfortunately, we allowed them. They cut us early in the first half, and it was a lot to do, wasn't it, against a very good defence. So, credit to them. Words can't really sum up how we feel at the moment.
Was salt rubbed in the wound by the fact that you were out-muscled up front?
Yeah, across the board, we just weren't good enough, and I'm sure during the week we're going to have some tough questions to ask as a team. And it's tough. Professional sport is like that. But like I said, sorry to all the fans. Sorry to the country. We weren't good enough.
Thank you for your time.
Chris Robshaw fighting back the emotion as Stuart Lancaster was. That's the table. Australia and Wales play each other next week. They have qualified. England will play Uruguay. They are out of the Rugby World Cup. From Twickenham, from myself, Miles Harrison, and Andy Gummersall, it's goodbye.